Let's go now, though, to the Opera House, where tonight there will be a Light Will Win service. It'll begin in the next hour. It'll begin at 7 o'clock sharp. It'll, of course, be hosted by our own Jewry Markson. And we as a nation then will honour the victims of the Bondi terror attack. Joining me now, Executive Council of Australian Jewry co-CEO, Alex Ryvchin. Alex, thank you. Thank you for joining me on this very special evening. I think I say this as a non-Jewish Australian who all the way through my life, but particularly over the last 2 years, has stood with solidarity with my Jewish neighbours and friends. I look forward to tonight to grieve with you, but I also look forward to tonight where you, on behalf of all Australians, reclaim the Opera House in the name of all that's good and decent, and as, again, a positive symbol of our national unity. I think if that also comes out of tonight, as well as everything else, that is a good thing.
Thank you, Peter. And yes, I think the choice of venue isn't coincidental. We all know what happened here just as the October 7 horrors were unfolding. We warned at the time that when you have a mob of Islamist ideology chanting what they were chanting, saying that the armies of Muhammad are coming for the Jews, there are people in our society who will take that as a cue, that will act upon it, and that's exactly what we saw. People possessed of the same ideology massacring my community at Bondi Beach during a Hanukkah festival. So it's symbolic and it's critical, and it's also important that today we turn a page. 1 month after a massacre or any death is the end of the official mourning period for the Jewish people. And we are obligated at that point to stand up, to cease our mourning, to return to our work in our community and the full enjoyment of life. And that's what we need to do. We've had a horror month. We'll never forget what happened. We'll never forget the 15 souls. We'll never forget the hundreds of people whose lives were upended, whose psychological trauma will be with us for a long time to come. But we have to move forward. And that means each of us taking personal responsibility and asking what we can do to lead better lives as individuals and as Australians. And we're hoping that today is the genesis of that.
A good friend of mine, a Jewish man, said to me in Melbourne last night that a lot of his friends are waiting to see if something real is going to come out of this Royal Commission. If there will be genuine changes, he'll make a decision to stay in Australia. But they're talking, these people, he and others, are saying that if not, if it's more of the same, if it's empty words, they'll look to relocate to Israel. I know many have already. So this Royal Commission then is incredibly important, not just for national policy, but it's important for the life choices now of individual Jewish families in Australia.
Yeah, that's right. And look, for a long time before the massacre, members of the community would call me up and with totally calm minds would say to me, is it time to go? Or will you tell us when it is imminent and we should depart? And it seemed crazy to think that in Australia in our time, any community should be thinking about their exit plans. But the Jewish people carry with them a long history. We know how quickly things can turn. We know that golden ages are often ended by acts of horror and terror visited upon the Jewish community. And our history, tragically, is one of ups and downs, of renewal and destruction, of constant wandering. And so nothing can be taken for granted, and we're very conscious of that. But personally, I'm not going anywhere, and I hope that the exceeding majority of Australian Jews understand that this is their home. We helped build this country, we contributed immensely to the greatness of this country, and we have to stay and fight for it, because what has happened in the last 2 years has to be an aberration. It can't be who we are, and we have to together correct the course. And if a large number of Jews take their enterprise and their patriotism and shift it somewhere else, Australia will be worse for it, and we can't let that happen.
All right, I will leave it there, Alex. I know you are a man in much demand. I want you to get back to that auditorium. We'll all watch you at 7 o'clock. We'll watch proceedings at 7 o'clock, but thank you for joining me tonight.